saying, what do you want to do tonight?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Chapter 4. Mastering the Law of Attraction. Men and women are human magnets. Just as a steel magnet drawn through a pile of rubbish will pull out only the things that have an affinity for it, so we are constantly drawing to us and establishing relations with the things and the people that respond to our thoughts and ideals. Why do some people win the attention of others easily, are able to make friends readily, and gain the admiration of others, while others just barely get along? When we meet some people, we are impressed by their pleasant personality. Something about the way they project themselves makes us feel confident in them, admire them, and feel comfortable with them. These people have mastered the law of attraction. They attract the attention of their bosses, their customers, and others. Such men and women are the people we choose to be our mentors. It is from this group that the leaders of companies are chosen, and it is these people who climb readily up the ladder of success. The American psychologist William James defined personality as a set of individually evolved characteristic patterns of behavior which determines daily functioning on both conscious and unconscious levels. Personality is said to represent the balance between innate drives and a combination of conscious and external controls. The important thing to remember is that attractive characteristics can be developed. Some facets of us are inborn, our physical appearance, basic intelligence, and some talents, but each of us has the capacity to make the most of our innate traits and to develop them to give us that type of personality that others will admire. We can learn how to use the law of attraction. It's not easy to grow into the person you want to be, but it starts with a strong desire and commitment to develop your innate traits. You can develop an outgoing, cheerful, optimistic, and positive demeanor, a personality that will win the approbation of the men and women with whom you interrelate. Personality traits can be acquired. William James commented that your personality is the sum total of all of your traits. This includes your body and your psychic powers, but also your clothes, your house, your spouse and children, your ancestors and friends, your reputation and works, your possessions, and your bank account. All these things generate the same range of emotions. If they wax and prosper, you feel triumphant. If they dwindle and die away, you feel cast down. Not necessarily in the same degree for each thing, but in much the same way for all. Our personality is the way in which we express ourselves to the outside world. We are not only gregarious animals, liking to be in the sight of our fellows, but we have an innate propensity to get ourselves noticed, and noticed favorably by our kind. Certain personalities are greater than mere physical beauty and more powerful than learning. Charm of personality is a divine gift that sways the strongest characters, leads to high-level career positions, and sometimes even controls the destinies of nations. People who possess this magnetic power unconsciously influence us. The moment we come into their presence, we have a sense of enlargement. They inspire their subordinates on the job, their customers or clients, and others look to them as models in their own careers and lives. They unlock within us possibilities of which we previously had no conception. Our horizon broadens. We feel a new power stirring through all our being. We experience a sense of relief, as if a great weight has been removed that long had pressed upon us. Much of the charm of a magnetic personality comes from a fine, cultivated manner. Tact also is a very important element, perhaps the most important. One must know exactly what to do and be able to do just the right thing at the proper time. Good judgment and common sense are indispensable to those who are trying to acquire this magic power. Good taste is also one of the elements of personal charm. You cannot offend the tastes of others without hurting their sensibilities. One of the greatest investments one can make is that of attaining a gracious manner, cordiality of bearing, and generosity of feeling, the delightful art of pleasing. It is infinitely better than money capital, for all doors fly open to sunny, pleasing personalities. They are more than welcome. They are sought for everywhere. Personality traits can be acquired. Granting that all people have equal rights and opportunities, we must recognize that all do not have equal intelligence, equal physical strength, or equal levels of energy. Yet, whatever their status, they may rise by self-education and self-development. Those eager for knowledge and ambitious to excel will naturally forge ahead. You can choose and work to develop the personality traits you wish to acquire. Application is the great thing. The principal qualities that make the stature of the perfect human being are patience, kindness, generosity, humility, courtesy, unselfishness, good temper, and sincerity. These traits are not inborn. They can be developed. Take these as the framework of the personality you wish to create out of the qualities found in your own complex nature. Unfortunately, some people who have all these qualities are not perceived to have a pleasant personality because they lack a good appearance. This doesn't mean physical beauty. You need not be born with a beautiful face or physique to project a good appearance, but unless you dress neatly and appropriately, wear a smile instead of a frown, and are clean and well-groomed, your high qualities will not be noticed. Appearance is important since it is the first impression others have of you that often determines whether they will give you an opportunity to demonstrate your superior qualities. Not only are you judged by how you appear, but also you judge others by their appearance. Instinctively, people attempt to cultivate in themselves the positive qualities of appearance they see in those they admire. They wear the same type of clothes, imitate their hairstyles, and act in the same manner as their models. You can do this with other qualities as well. Concentrate on the personality characteristics of people you respect and look up to. In this person, you can visualize the person you wish to be. Look not only at men and women whom you know, but also take models from the past and present of others who are exemplars of the ideal personality you wish to have. Look for the good. It is just as easy to go through life looking for the good and the beautiful instead of the ugly, for the noble instead of the ignoble, for the bright and cheerful instead of the dark and gloomy, the hopeful instead of the despairing, to see the bright side instead of the dark side. To set your face always toward the sunlight is just as easy as to see always the shadows, and it makes all the difference in your character between content and discontent, between happiness and misery, and in your life between prosperity and adversity, between success and failure. Feed these thoughts into your subconscious mind. This is how to apply the law of attraction. Learn to look for the light, then. Positively refuse to harbor shadows and blots, negative images, and the discordant. Hold to those things that give pleasure, that are helpful and inspiring, and you will change your whole way of looking at things, will transform your personality in a very short time. One way to develop the best traits in yourself is to look for the best traits in others. By taking a large-hearted attitude toward everyone you meet, by trying to pierce through the mask of the outer man or woman to the innermost core, and by cultivating kindly feelings toward all, you can acquire this inestimable gift. Nothing will pay you better than acquiring the power to make others feel at ease, happy, and satisfied with themselves. Sunny people dispel melancholy, gloom, worry, and anxiety from all those with whom they come in contact, just as the sun drives away darkness. When they enter a room full of people, where the conversation has been lagging and where everybody seems bored, they transform the surroundings like the sun bursting through thick black clouds after a storm. Everybody takes on a joyous spirit from the glad soul who just entered. Tongues are untied, conversation which dragged becomes bright and spirited, and the whole atmosphere vibrates with gladness and good cheer. Be empathetic. Empathetic people put themselves in the shoes of the person with whom they interrelate. They not only hear what that person says, but they feel what he or she feels at that moment. How can anyone fail to respond positively to such people? Maintain a cheerful disposition. Unless you have a mental attitude that is free of bitterness and guile, and you look at each day as a blessing to be enjoyed and savored, you will have an unhappy and most likely unproductive life. We cannot do our best work while we harbor revengeful or even unfriendly thoughts toward others. Our faculties only give up their best when working in perfect harmony. There must be goodwill in the heart, or we cannot do good work with head or hand. Hatred, revenge, and jealousy are poisons, as fatal to all that is noblest in us as arsenic is fatal to physical life. A kindly attitude, a feeling of goodwill toward others, is our best protection against bitter hatred or injurious thoughts of any kind. In a gracious personality, there is a charm from which it is very hard to get away. It is difficult to snub the person who possesses it. There is something about him or her that attracts you, no matter how busy or how worried you may be, or how much you may dislike to be interrupted. Somehow, you haven't the heart to turn away a person with a pleasing personality. The secret of being pleasant. Emerson says, "What you are speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say." We cannot conceal what we are, how we feel, because we radiate our atmosphere, our personality. And this is cold or warm, attractive or repellent according to our dominant traits and qualities. A person who is selfish, always thinking of him or herself and looking out for his or her own advantage, who is cold, unsympathetic, greedy, cannot radiate a warm, mellow atmosphere. If selfishness, indifference, avarice, and greed are dominant in your nature, you will radiate it, and it will repel others because these are the qualities people instinctively detest. The qualities that attract are outflowing, buoyant. The qualities that repel are inflowing. That is, people who have no magnetism are self-centered. They think too much about themselves. They do not give out enough. They are always after something, absorbing, receiving some benefit, trying to get some advantage for themselves. They lack sympathy, lack cordiality, good fellowship. They are bad mixers. A piece of magnetized steel will attract only the products of iron ore. It has no affinity for wood, copper, rubber, or any other substance that has no iron in it. When you are a child, you found that your little steel magnet would pick up a needle, but not a match or a toothpick. It would draw to itself only that like itself. Men and women are human magnets. Just as a steel magnet drawn through a pile of rubbish will pull out only the things that have an affinity for it, so we are constantly drawing to us, establishing relations with the things and the people that respond to our thoughts and ideals. Our environment, our associates, our general condition are the result of our mental attraction. These things have come to us on the physical plane because we have concentrated on them, have related ourselves to them mentally. They are our affinities and will remain with us as long as the affinity for them continues to exist in our minds. Applying the law of attraction. Some people are naturally magnetic, but when you analyze their character, you will find they possess certain qualities that we all instinctively admire, the qualities that attract every single human being, such as generosity, magnanimity, cordiality, broad sympathies, large views of life, helpfulness, optimism. They are followers of the law of attraction. There is not one of these qualities that you cannot cultivate and strengthen a great deal. If you do so, you will get a hearing where others will not. Whatever your business, your reputation and your success will depend in a great degree on the quality of the impression you make upon others. It means everything, therefore, to young men and women to use the law of attraction to develop a magnetic, forceful, attractive personality. Cultivate the heart qualities. Intellect and brain power have little, if anything, to do with personal magnetism. It is the lovable, not the intellectual, that draws and holds people. This is not a very difficult thing to do. Everyone can cultivate the ability to please and the strength of character that will make him or her felt as a real force in the world. Knowing the law of attraction, the qualities and characteristics that distinguish the magnetic and non-magnetic, it is comparatively easy to cultivate the one and to eliminate the other. That is, we can cultivate the generous, magnanimous, cheerful, helpful mental qualities and crush their opposites. And in proportion, As we do this, we shall find ourselves becoming more interested in others, and they in turn becoming more interested in us. As we make ourselves personal magnets by fashioning our aura of the kindly thoughts and words and deeds that day by day go to the making of a rich, magnetic personality, we shall find ourselves more welcome wherever we go, more sought after. We shall attract people to us more and more. By imbuing your subconscious mind with the qualities that you admire so much in others, the very qualities that attract you, you will become attractive to others. As you become permeated with these qualities, they shall characterize you, and you will acquire a magnetic, attractive personality. Live a healthy life. The first step towards making yourself magnetic is to build up your health. Vigorous health coupled with a right mental attitude, an optimistic, hopeful, cheerful, happy mind will increase your magnetism wonderfully. A person with robust health radiates an atmosphere of strength, vigor, and courage, while one who lacks vitality drains from others instead of giving to them. Physical force and abounding joyousness of health help to create a magnetic, forceful personality. People with buoyant, alert minds, with a sparkle in their eyes, and elasticity in their step, and who are bubbling over with abundant physical vitality have a tremendous advantage over those who are devitalized and physically weak. Admit your mistakes. One way to turn people off is to be a bumptious, self-important, arrogant individual who never admits a mistake. Investment guru Warren Buffett, probably one of the richest people in the world, not only knows how to use failure and mistakes, but he goes so far as to advertise them. In 1989, he started a formal practice of telling on himself by publishing a list of his mistakes in his Letter to Investors. In this letter, Buffett confessed not only mistakes made, but opportunities lost because he failed to act appropriately. It is Buffett's belief that candor benefits the manager at least as much as the shareholder. He puts it this way: the CEO who misleads others in public may eventually mislead himself in private. Buffett believes in the value of studying one's mistakes, rather than concentrating only on success. Perhaps it's this level of candor that frees Warren Buffett to be joyful at work. He is known for always being upbeat and supportive, genuinely excited about coming to work every day. People are attracted to him. Is it because he's rich? Or is it the other way around? Reach out to those you meet. You must make people feel that they have met a sincere person. Don't greet people with a stiff, "How do you do?" or "Glad to meet you," without any feeling, any sentiment in it. Be a good mixer. Look people you meet squarely in the eye and make them feel your personality. Give them a glad hand with a smile and kind words to make them remember that they have come in contact with a real force and make them glad to meet you again. If you are to be popular, you must cultivate cordiality. You must fling the door of your heart wide open and not, as many do, just leave it slightly ajar, as much as to say to people you meet, "You may peep in a bit, but you cannot come in until I know whether you will be a desirable acquaintance." A great many people are stingy with their cordiality. They seem to reserve it for some special occasion or for intimate friends. They think it is too precious to give out to everybody. You will be surprised to see what this warm, glad handshake and cordial greeting will do in creating a bond of goodwill between you and everybody you meet. People who meet you will say to themselves, "Well, there is a really interesting personality. I want to know more about this lady or gentleman. This is an unusual greeting. This person sees something in me, evidently, which most people do not see." Cultivate the habit of being cordial, of meeting people with a warm, sincere greeting with an open heart. It will do wonders for you. You will find that the stiffness, diffidence, and indifference, the cold lack of interest in everybody that now so troubles you will disappear. People will see that you really take an interest in them, that you really want to know, please, and interest them. The practice of cordiality will revolutionize your social power. You will develop attractive qualities that you never before dreamed you possessed. Others will flock to you, look to you for guidance, and help you realize your dreams. Choose a mentor. Be a mentor. An excellent way to move ahead in your career is to seek and follow a mentor. This man or woman has all of the attributes discussed above and is not only able but will also be willing to share them with others. Mentors are good exemplars of people who have mastered the law of attraction. They can not only provide you with knowledge, but also guide you through the nuances of company culture. And when you have achieved success and have moved into a leadership position, you can repay your mentor by becoming a mentor to a newcomer to the organization. Sum and substance. Unless you have a mental attitude that is free of bitterness and guile, and you look at each day as a blessing to be enjoyed and savored, you will have an unhappy and most likely unproductive life. Banish negativity from your thoughts. Know the law of attraction, the qualities and characteristics that distinguish the magnetic and the non-magnetic. We can cultivate the generous, magnanimous, cheerful, helpful mental qualities and crush their opposites. And as we do this, we shall find ourselves becoming more interested in others, and they in turn becoming more interested in us. Study the men and women, those you know personally and those from the past and present times about whom you have read, whose personalities you admire. Use them as models for your behavior. Learn to radiate joy and generosity. Fling out your gladness without reserve. Be empathetic. Empathetic people put themselves in the shoes of the people with whom they interrelate. They not only hear what others say, but feel what they feel when they say it. People cannot help but respond positively to such people. Be enthusiastic. People who are enthusiastic about themselves and whose actions undertake their work with the assurance of success will realize the fulfillment of their promise. Enthusiasm multiplies your power, raises whatever ability you have to its highest level. One way to implement the law of attraction in the workplace is to discourage your associates to express their ideas, especially when they differ from yours. This not only provides you with new ideas, but also makes them realize that you recognize their talents and look upon them as partners, not subordinates. Seek and then follow a mentor, a person you admire and from whom you can learn. When you have achieved success, offer your services as a mentor to others. Chapter 5. Becoming a more enthusiastic person. Enthusiasm is the secret ingredient of success for the most successful people, as well as the generator of happiness in the lives of those who possess it. The word enthusiasm comes from the Greek and literally means to be possessed by God. It means an absorbing or controlling possession of the mind by any interest or pursuit. You must believe that the energy of the infinite power animates you, and the creative ideas that unfold within you reveal everything you need to know. You must have faith in the response of the infinite power to help you attain your goal. This generates enthusiasm, which is awakened by your positive faith. Gradually, a new world of achievement opens up for you. People with pleasing personalities are enthusiastic about their lives, their work, their relationships, and their goals. Enthusiasm comes from deep within ourselves. Enthusiasm cannot be faked. Feigned enthusiasm through artificial gestures, phony smiles, and exaggerated comments is easily detected. If you believe that what you are doing is worthwhile, meaningful, exciting, and achievable, it will show up in your demeanor and your actions. Be enthusiastic about your work. Why is it that one employee can often accomplish 3 or 4 times as much as another employee? The difference is not always that of ability. It is often a difference in the character of the effort. Successful people try harder. They add enthusiasm and a splendid zest to their work that increases the quality as well as the quantity of the result. I have often heard employees say in the morning that they fairly dreaded the day's work, that the hours dragged, and that they were glad when the ordeal was over. They felt no enthusiasm for their employment. Should anyone hope to succeed in life who considers a day's work an ordeal, who goes to it as a slave lashed to his task? It is the employees who take hold of their work as though they love it, who take pride in it, who are made of the winning material. There is nothing that troubles an employer more than to see employees doing things in an ambitionless, indifferent manner, as though they regard their work as a necessary evil to be done to keep them from starving. Employees who go to their tasks with energy, determination, and enthusiasm give confidence to the employer that the thing they undertake will not only be done, but be well done. When employees drag themselves about as though existence were a burden, when they take hold of the work with repugnance or dread, the employer knows that they will never amount to anything. Enthusiasm is contagious. The world has always made way for enthusiasm. It multiplies your power, raises whatever ability you have to its highest level. Enthusiasm attracts business. It is so contagious that before we know it, we are infected with it, even if we try to brace ourselves against it. If your heart is in your work, your enthusiasm will often cause a would-be customer to forget that you are trying to make a sale. There are people who do splendid work when their enthusiasm is up. When they are enthusiastic, they are productive, prolific in ideas, original, creative, strong, and effective. But let their enthusiasm cool a bit and they are down at the heel. All their standards drop and they are good for nothing during the ebb tide. They just have to wait for flood tide. You meet them one day and you would think they were going to do marvels, and perhaps the very next day they are low-spirited and pessimistic. Their work drags and they are shorn of their power until they get a fresh supply of energy. Krista Hawken is a woman who never loses her enthusiasm. She fires up hundreds of potential customers every week and is famous for it. She's not a manager, a sales executive, or a leader in the usual sense. She gives tours of a Hyundai Motors manufacturing facility in Montgomery, Alabama, one of the most technically advanced facilities in the world, turning out 1,000 cars a day. Krista is well known for turning tourists into customers with her passion and enthusiasm. She takes a personal interest in the men and women on her tour, encourages them to ask questions, and answers them fully, enthusiastically, and in non-technical terms. Experts know that everyone who works for a brand represents it to the outside world, and every interaction is an opportunity to put an energized, enthusiastic face to the brand. Krista means it, which is why she's effective. She says she sees what the plant has done for the community and the state of Alabama, which makes it easy for her to be happy. She never uses the term employees. To her, everyone is a team member, and the quality of the vehicles is directly related to the energy of the people making them. She does not start a tour with the purpose of selling cars. Her goal is to entertain and inform visitors, and it has paid off in increased sales. Maintain your enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is fragile. It can easily be lost. It is a great art to learn how to keep up your enthusiasm amid discouragement, but it is one you can easily acquire. It is simply a question of controlling thought. We can keep the negative thoughts out of our minds. There is nothing that will dampen the enthusiasm and take the edge off of an endeavor more quickly than to flood the mind with destructive, discordant thoughts. We can control the mood, and the best way to keep out the darkness is to flood the mind with sunlight. One way to generate enthusiasm is to assume the part you wish to play, and then play it with enthusiasm. If you are ambitious to do big things, you must always be enthusiastic about yourself. Tom J. knew it would be a tough job to persuade his manager to upgrade their computer system. To overcome his boss's concern about the added cost, he prepared an exciting presentation on how the proposed system would speed up the work and minimize errors. He knew his boss was usually reluctant to accept ideas, and his first thought was, "Why bother? He won't do anything anyway." But Tom was so enthusiastic about the project, he overcame his reluctance and made an exciting and spirited presentation and won his boss's support for the new system. There is something in the atmosphere of enthusiastic people who believe they are going to win, something in their very appearance that wins half the battle before a blow is struck. Set your mind toward the thing you want to accomplish, so resolutely, so definitely, and with such enthusiastic determination, and put so much grit into your resolution that nothing on earth can turn you from your purpose until you attain it. Lucy A. was seeking her first job as an administrative assistant in the medical field. She had an associate's degree in medical administration from a community college, but was turned down several times because of lack of work experience. So she gave herself a pep talk. I want this job. I have the technical know-how. I am a diligent and conscientious worker. I can be a real asset to the doctor. When she went for her next interview, she was determined to get the job. She repeated her pep talk over and over again on the way to the doctor's office. She entered the office confidently and answered the doctor's questions with such enthusiasm that he offered her a job. Some months later, he told her that when he saw from her application that she had no experience, he had decided to just give her a courtesy interview and reject her. But her enthusiasm convinced him to try her in the job. She carried that enthusiasm into the work itself and became a valuable member of his administrative staff. Are you a lifter or a leaner? There are two kinds of people, just two kinds of people, no more. Not the good and the bad, for it is well understood the good are half bad and the bad are half good. Not the happy and the sad, not the rich and the poor, not the humble and the proud. No, the two kinds of people on earth are the people who lift and the people who lean. Wherever you go, you will find the world's masses are ever divided into just these two classes. And, strangely enough, you will find, too, it seems that there is only one lifter for 20 who lean. Are you a lifter? Are you a leaner or whiner? Do you lean on others? You are here to grow, to transcend. You are here to meet problems, difficulties, and challenges, and to overcome them. You are not here to run away from them. The joy is in overcoming. If the crossword puzzle were filled out for you, it would be very insipid. The joy is in solving the puzzle. The engineer rejoices in overcoming all obstacles, failures, and difficulties in building a bridge. You are here to sharpen your mental and spiritual tools while you grow in wisdom, strength, and understanding. You are here to build enthusiasm in your life and the lives of those with whom you relate. Enthusiasm leads to achievement. When we are enthusiastic about something we are doing, the excitement, the joy, the inner feeling of satisfaction permeates the entire activity. It is not always easy to be excited about many of the things we have to do on a day-by-day basis, but it is possible if we only make the effort. What goes on in the mind is what determines outcome. When you really get enthusiastic, you can see it in the flash of your eyes and your alert and vibrant personality. You can see it in the spring of your step. You can see it in the verve of your whole being. Enthusiasm makes the difference in your attitude toward other people, toward your job, toward the world. It makes the big difference in the zest and delight of human existence. You must, of course, be enthusiastic about yourself and your abilities, but it is also necessary to be enthusiastic about what you are doing, the product you are making or selling, the music you are composing, or the essay you are writing. How can you become enthusiastic about something? Well, you must first believe in what you are doing. Learn as much about the product, the idea, or the concept that you are engaged in. Get as much information as you can. Delve into your subject. Live it. The more you learn, the more you make your subject part of your life, and your enthusiasm for it will grow. When we study the lives of great men and women, whether they are in the field of government, business, science, or the arts, we see that the one common ingredient all of them possess is enthusiasm about their work and their lives. Enthusiasm enabled Beethoven to compose his greatest symphonies despite his deafness. Enthusiasm enabled Columbus to persuade Queen Isabella to finance his voyage of discovery and to keep going when it seemed impossible to succeed. You too have this power. Release your talents and abilities and develop a zeal and enthusiasm to learn more about your inner powers. You then can lift yourself up to astonishing heights. Ask the supreme intelligence within you to give you what you need, and it will respond to you. Realize infinite intelligence is guiding you, revealing hidden talents to you, opening up new doors for you, showing you the way you should go. And the guiding principle within you will lead and guide you in all your ways. Sum and substance. Set your mind toward the thing you would like to accomplish, so resolutely, so definitely, and with such enthusiastic determination that nothing on earth can turn you from your purpose until you attain it. Successful people try harder. They add enthusiasm and a splendid zest to their work, which increases the quality as well as the quantity of the result. When we are enthusiastic about something we are doing, the excitement, the joy, the inner feeling of satisfaction permeates the entire activity. It is not always easy to be excited about many of the things we have to do on a day-by-day basis, but it is possible if we only make the effort. Enthusiasm is contagious. When you are enthusiastic, your eyes sparkle, your voice vibrates, your step becomes springier. It permeates every aspect of your demeanor and personality. Your boss sees it, your subordinates and coworkers feel it. Your customers are influenced by it. Enthusiasm is fragile. It can easily be lost. It is a great art to learn how to keep up your enthusiasm amid discouragement, but it is one you can easily acquire. It is simply a question of controlling thought. We can keep the negative thoughts out of our minds. There is nothing that will dampen enthusiasm and take the edge off of endeavors more quickly than to flood the mind with destructive, discordant thoughts. We can control the mood, and the best way to keep out the darkness is to flood the mind with sunlight.